Hello everyone, my name is Almazina Taskia. So, as you can see on the title, we're gonna discuss about theme analysis of Morning at the Window by T.S. Eliot. So, let's move on. Morning at the Window was written by T.S. Eliot in 1914 and published in Eliot's first poetry collection, Proof Rock and Other Observations. Morning at the Window presents a series of observations about modern urban life. So, how do we can identify the theme of the poetry? Well, if we want to identify themes of the poetry, we can use 4 questions. The first question is, what are the explicit themes? It means what topics or themes do we see in the poem on our first read through? And the second question is, what is the poem's overall tone? It means that what thought or emotion does the poet convey? What images are used and how do these reveal the poet's feeling toward the subject matter? And the third question is, what is the poem's overall mood? It means how does the poem make the reader feel? What effect does the poem's tone have on the reader? And the last question is, what are the implicit themes? It means that after we consider the poem's tone and mood, what are the less obvious themes have we discovered? So implicit theme is a theme that is implied through character, setting, plot, or stylistic choices. So with this question, we can identify what kind of theme the poem Morning at the Window has. So let's move on to the next explanation.
There are 4 questions that we could use to identify themes in poem. The first question is, what are the explicit themes? The explicit themes of this poem are human feelings. We could say that this poem portrays the depressed and sadness feelings by read the first stanza. Quoting from the poem, I am aware of the damp souls of housemates, sprouting despondently at area gates. And second stanza, quoting from the poem, twisted faces from the bottom of the street, and tear from a passerby with muddy skirts. A nameless smile that hovers in the air and vanishes along the level of the roofs. First stanza states that the speaker is aware that the housemates and the area gates have damp souls and they are despondent or extremely sad. Second stanza states about the twisted faces of depressed people pass by and has tears in their eyes. Another person comes up and tries to smile, but fails, and the smile vanishes along the city roof. The second question is, what is the poem's overall tone? The tone of this poem could be described as sadness and misery. The image in the poem correlate with the idea of poverty and feelings of sympathy. But the poem only presents them just the objective image rather than romantically expressing feelings and emotions. Eliot makes the speaker as a person who's sitting at the window while observing people's miserable lives. His word choice such as damsel, despondently, twisted faces, tear, and aimless smile evoke a picture about people's miserable life, which is the thing that he wants to portray in this poem.
What is the poem's overall mood? Morning at the Window makes the reader feel pity, sad, sympathy, and empathic. The reader can imagine being live in a modern city, but there is still poverty in everywhere. The reader can feel what they feel, life among modern and great city, but they cannot feel it. They live in poor and dirty area that might be uncomfortable. An aimless smile that hovers in the air. So they must be happy and smiling, but it is just a fake smile. They are afraid to dream and hope because it is just a useless thing that they cannot reach.
Okay, so the last question is, what are the implicit themes? In this poetry mentioned the damp souls of housemates. This species all shows the depression, tragic and miserable life of poor people in the city. How they feel it in their lives that full of hopeless. It's not mentioned in the poetry, but the reader can feel the emotion. A tear from passerby, an endless smile represents sadness and depression. Poor people should be happy as human beings, but their more terrible. Finishes below the level of the roofs might be represent their hope. Hope of poor people that sins cannot reach and such hopeless. The word damned souls also represent poor people is extremely unhappy. They live in the street every day preparing for another miserable life.
To the next one, it's the conclusion. The conclusion is that the theme of the poem Morning at the Window is poverty. The poem presents a set of typical images that suggest poverty, depression, misery, and squalor in the slums, which is poor and dirty areas of the cities where the poor live. Perhaps more terrible than poverty is the problem of depression and distress. The damp souls of housemaids, the twisted face of a passerby, the tears in the eyes of a girl who is also wearing a muddy skirt, and the aimless smile of a person who tries and fails to smile are all indicators of sadness and frustration as well as poverty.